Are you moving to Maryland but don't know where to start? Today I'm in Fort Washington, Maryland, one of the DMV's premier locations, and I'm going to be talking about the pros and the cons of living in this beautiful area. For those of you who are new, my name is Gerald Jordan, licensed agent here in the DC metropolitan area, top 10 in the nation in sales, and I want to talk to you about the differences, the pros and the cons of living here in Fort Washington, Maryland, a town that I was personally born and raised in. Fort Washington is a suburb of Washington, DC with a population of right under 26,000. The surrounding towns are Accokeek, Oxon Hill, and Brandywine. Now, Fort Washington has some of the better amenities here in Prince George's County. It has the National Harbor, Fort Washington National Park, MGM Resorts and Casinos, and Tanger Outlets, just to name a few. But let me talk to you all about some statistics. So starting with the population, again, the population is right under 26,000. Now let's start with home values. According to Smart Charts, the average sales price in Fort Washington is $439,000. Now this is a little higher than the national average at $420,000. People who own homes in Fort Washington see this as a good thing because they've earned equity, but some people can see this as unaffordable. Furthermore, according to niche.com, 91% of people own their homes, while 9% of people in Fort Washington are renters, and the median rent is $2,613. Overall, housing gets a B- according to locals who voted on niche.com. Now let's look at the demographics. African Americans make up 61% of the population, Hispanics make 17% of the population, whites make 11% of the population, and the median household income is $143,623. While a large majority of the population is Black, the diversity in Fort Washington gets an outstanding A- due to its ethnic and economic diversity. Now, the unemployment rates in Fort Washington are relatively low at 4.1%. The poverty rates, likewise, pretty low at 5.3%. And with sites like Fort Washington National Park, the National Harbor, MGM Resorts and Casinos, Fort Washington lands at an A- for outdoor activities, but I'd personally give it an A+. With Fort Washington being a connecting location between DC, Maryland, and Virginia, traffic does get very heavy during rush hour between the times of 8 to 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 to 6 o'clock p.m. Now let's talk about schools, which is one of the most important deciding factors when you make a move. There are a total of 226 schools, private and public, near Fort Washington. Now the public schools in Fort Washington get a C grade according to niche.com. Lastly, let's talk about crime and safety. Fort Washington is a fairly safe place for you and your family to live. A lot of families occupy the population. Crime and safety in Fort Washington gets an outstanding A-, which again shows how safe the area is. Now I hope this video allowed you to understand the pros and the cons of living here in Fort Washington, Maryland. And look, if you're looking to relocate to Fort Washington, use the link in my description box to schedule your one-on-one consultation or for other free resources. This is Gerald Jordan, your favorite DMV realtor, and I'm signing out.